Last time stream, what we did was we focused on catching up the phone UI. And offline, I focused on getting WebGL working, which wasn't actually that simple a thing. With other Unity games, you can just like build and get there. But since I'm using Wise for better audio control, uh, then you have to use like an experimental package, and you have to switch to a different method of loading sound banks. So it was a little bit of hassle there to get Wise working on web. And while I was sort of hopping back between mobile and web, which is like hopping back between a landscape view and a portrait view, I also standardized the viewable game area. So what I was doing before, it was like kind of an estimation of like, okay, these are roughly the same type deal. But on the portrait mode, like it'd be pretty much what you expected, where on the landscape mode you could see slightly wider, and on the portrait mode you could see slightly taller. This is changed up now to be like mathematically the same. I think it might be, it's like a slight zooming out of the game, so I added a glow to the player just to make it a little bit easier to follow. Zooming out the game is going to be important. Oh, I forgot there's a, oh, I guess I'm not here. But zooming out the game is going to be important longer term, because I want to do something more than like these like little, there's not enough variety among these like little platforms. Like the system where it can randomly spawn platforms is good. They can randomly spawn things on them. All that stuff is good. But the platforms themselves are a little uninteresting. And the primary reason for that is I can only do so much with the amount of tiles that can reasonably fit here. Just basically the problem is that I want to have a finite width. There's a limit to how many tiles wide platforms can be if they're on both sides. Longer term, I'm trying to mix that up with, we'll also use the wall. We're going to add in walls on the sides, and sometimes platforms will come out of walls, and we'll also re-add big platforms. But just sort of to give that whole process a little bit of breathing room, I zoomed out the game a little bit. If I find it too difficult to follow this smaller player, I might boost them up in size. And same deal with enemies. I think I'm leaning towards maybe bigger enemies, but fewer of them. Also for the chickens and maybe like flying enemies in particular, I want to implement some flocking behaviors. Where specifically for chickens, I want separation. So let me see if I can find an especially bad clump. Closer to the top, there will be more chickens. Oh yeah, like up here. Like this batch of chickens is no good. This batch of chickens is no good. Like when they, like I just stopped them here, they're like creating a line. I don't want these clumps of chickens like this. So I think there are 3 parts of flocking. It's like separation, cohesion, and something else. Where it's like they want to stay roughly together, but they can't get too close to something else. And that plus some other third behavior produces the emergent like movement behavior of flocking. So what I want to do, I think, is I want to integrate those like flocking type behaviors into my movement system, and then I can give chickens specifically separation. And I can also maybe have like certain things move in a swarm, like the rat king projectile ball. Like maybe we just pre-spawn all those projectiles, but have them like churn in a storm before they actually get shot out at the player, instead of being a secondary particle effect. And then also B-boss and some other like the enemies and stuff, formation type movement could be nice, and just swarm type movement. seeing if there's anything else. What was the third bit I put? Yeah, I don't think so. So we'll just, let's clear out the burrower here, make sure we can. 4 lives, it might be tough if I'm careless. It's actually pretty easy if you're, like, patient and careful. But, he can also kill you in, like, 2 seconds if you're not. The pattern is very predictable, so here it's 1 unblockable spike to 2 smalls. So I jump over an unblockable here, I can nab him like that. With the, sort of like the projectile speed that protects this guy's back, the spacing of your dash kind of matters, because if you space it wrong, you'll hit his back spew. Oh, what just hit me? I wasn't paying attention there. That might be a bug. I didn't see anything that hit me. Yeah, as long as you're patient and careful, this guy is not that bad. But when I was like paying half attention, this guy can take me down from 14. He's killed me from like 14 life before. He's 2 more hits, I think. This is probably... Ooh, dang it. A little bit too fast for me there. This is probably too hard long term for a level 1 boss. But I think this set of abilities is probably fine. They just need to be made a bit more forgiving. Got him. So yeah, boss reward UI looks good. So yeah, you can see, I mean, I didn't talk too much about it, but these phone controls are new. You can see I'm clicking and dragging on the left and right buttons here. I think that was the biggest usability problem I was facing on phone, where like the controls just didn't feel like they were listening to me, which like feels like a bad, you know, user experience basically. And the root cause of that was Unity has a package called on-screen buttons. And that's what I was using. That's what I still am using for some of these, where it's pretty simple from a programming perspective, because all it does is it says like, okay, this is an on-screen button, and then you tell it what key you want to bind that on-screen button to. So that means like my dash here, this dash button, it just is bound to E, and dash doesn't need to care if you're on mobile. Ooh, I got hit by a thing. Dash doesn't need to care if you're on mobile or if you're on web, or even like using a controller. It's always just gonna rebind to E. So that's nice from a point of simplicity's sake. But the problem was that it was implemented as 2 on-screen buttons, right? One going to left, one going to right. But that only registered like tapping and holding. If you like tapped here on this left button, or tapped on the right, left, whatever, you couldn't do this like little drag move, where if you're just like, all right, my thumb is on the movement control and I want to move like my thumb along the direction I want to move. So that was the biggest problem, I think, phone control wise, and that is cleaned up. There's just slightly more space than last time, so I think I'm making more effective use of the space, just because, you know, this does seem like a lot of dead space, but you know, you got on-screen controls down here, and there's just necessarily is going to have to be some degree of a lot, or like a decent chunk of vertical dead space to get like portrait and landscape modes actually having like truly the same playable area, right? The resolution is just so different that you gotta cover up a lot on the top and bottom for portrait and a lot on the sides for landscape to get them similar. I think what it's going for is 10 by 9 or 9 by 10, where it is just it's almost a square, but it's just a little bit taller than it is wide, you know, since the game is like fundamentally vertical. But That also caused more horizontal spacing in the landscape mode, and I don't want to go too far with that. You know, or it feels like it's just all a waste of space or whatever. Anyway. That is sort of a summary of what I did last time. This time I'm going to spend like 20-30 minutes as usual just starting, like kind of doing what I was doing there. Talking, playing through the game, and looking for bugs. I actually noticed a couple bugs. If we dashed through high value coins, doesn't grant the coins. Only non-dash contact does. And something I noticed the other day that I will add here to quickly fix is volatile shields kills boss collider. So that's just like an item affecting a boss in an unexpected way that can soft lock. So that's pretty. Anyway, so just as an overview. Sorry, drinking water. Just as an overview. After bug hunting, we're gonna look into pausing. I know it might seem like a weird thing to do, like an inconsequential type of thing, but just for like my practical testing purposes, there have been situations where I notice a bug, I want to write a bug down, but I'm playing in an actual like release build, so I can't just pause the Unity player. And then I'm like, I'm left with the choice of like, oh wait, okay, you can continue this test playthrough. That's pretty good. That's getting you a lot of test information. Or you can write down the bugs, but you'll probably die while the game continues on in the background and is not paused. So, I mean, it's something I would need eventually anyway, but it's just this weekend when I was working a lot on stuff that like have me playing in like actual builds more often than just playing in the Unity editor. It's like a must have. It's just like a nice to have quality of life thing that will enable me to be more productive when I'm working on future stuff. So it's also it's one of the things left on the list that is can be decently well contained in a short period of time. The problem with something like next what I'm going to work on offline this week, which is just trying to fine tune the platforming, is like that's a lot of like, oh, I watch a video, get an idea, try out some concept, and then like fiddle with the values. It's really it's less bound by time. It might take a second, it might take hours, and a lot of it is just like me reading or looking around or thinking about what I want to do. So I don't think that type of stuff is as well suited for a stream, but like something that I can probably fit beginning to end that needs to happen is pausing. And the nice thing about this is if we merge pausing under like time stop logic and the time bubble logic to have like a unified pause system, we can also fix some bugs that are currently present in the time stop stuff. As an example, I would want time stop to trigger when the player enters a safety bubble, but right now it is only triggering stopping the system. Whereas the sort of the stopwatch active item only stops enemies, but it doesn't stop spawners. It doesn't stop projectiles. It doesn't stop a newly spawned enemy since the spawners aren't stopped. So there are a few inconsistencies baked in there that can be fixed alongside this same bucket of work of adding like pause support. If we have time at the end, we can sort of like take the next step from the pause support and start building out a quit or settings that maybe could also include quit. So we can say like game menu / settings. Right now you can quit on any like PC-based platform by holding escape, but on phone you just have to like kill the app in like your app management thing. There's no way to quit. So that would fix another thing there. So yeah, let's get started with the first thing, which will be we'll play through like just, I don't know, between 2 and 4 times and look for bugs. Because we have already found one. Oh, also I'm gonna switch this from portrait over to landscape, since a lot of the I don't know, it's just landscape is a better view for me, like actually playing on a 4K monitor, right? Okay, let's build that. Oh, what's it doing? Project? It's not weirdly unresponsive on Unity's part. There we go. I guess to be fair to Unity, like I had just switched platforms. Like I was shocked that platform swap went through so quickly. So you see pretty significant left and right letterboxing here, but that's just necessary. It's how to make it happen such that this is the same like sort of playable area, visible area as in the portrait mode. You can tell by these like side boys. And just like mathematically, they're set up to be the same. Anyway, let's jump through, look for bugs. Maybe we should also... I don't like this. Can't hit it too frequently, so see, like, useful to pause here. Can get purposefully stuck on one-way corners. But it's kind of a sweet spot, and you can easily get out of it. That's the kind of thing where it's not that big a deal, but you know, it just doesn't look nice. You'd prefer that not happen. But as opposed to like where it used to be the case that you could ledge grab into a solid platform, and doing that would basically soft lock the game. Like that's the type of thing that you absolutely have to fix immediately. So here I can show that. You see that bug? Yeah, I'm dashing through these silver coins, but they're not picking up. Basic coins, you can dash through them and it's fine. But the higher value coins do not. They only get picked up when your body hits them. That's probably just a collision layer thing that'll probably be easy to fix. Go to the shop just for testings. So, and get triple jump, why not? Just get everything in here. Ooh, way easier. Yeah, I think the item stuff is like probably completely, it's so significant a rework basically. Ooh, did you see that? My shield went away, but the chicken didn't die. Let's see if I can re-trigger that. my shield. If I go try and get like right on the edge. Oh, that time he died. But that wasn't right on the edge. I jumped into him. I don't know. I didn't repro it. Ooh, I have a volatile shield. That's broken if it hits on the boss. We expect that to kill the burrow boss. Probably the rat boss too. Well, I guess no. The rat boss hurts himself, so it doesn't matter if his collider works. Can't buy too many more items or I'll get into a state where the stacking stuff stacks too much and it like actually hurts the play experience. That was what oh, there's an example. That chicken did not die. Okay. If hit right on the edge, you can lose a shield without it killing the enemy that consumed it. Noticed it happen with shiny shield specifically, but not clear. Shiny shield, but not clear if specific to that or to all shields. Shields, I'm probably gonna like switch back down to 1 or 2. A lot of items are getting cut. We're gonna cut down like the stacking stuff. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna be good. Just get to like a stage where you're zooming around speed racing so much that it becomes unplayable. And to turn it down such that that didn't happen would be to sort of like reduce the items to who cares, you know what I mean? Like, if I get a 0.5% of movement speed, who cares? I'm in like a catch-22 where if the like base item concept is not that interesting, the way that you make it feel impactful is by making it like large. If I buy it, I should ideally know, like, feel like something is different. But that requires you to turn up the value a lot, right? Then you just get out of the realm of like, if you're gonna like fine-tune the platformer logic or whatever, you're eventually gonna find yourself in a realm of out of the bounds of like what you took the time to tune. So like you're gonna player, it's like some juice stats that like ruin your level design and your controller fine tuning. So that is either your fine tuning gets ruined. Why am I so slow? I have some kind of molasses problem here. Wait, I should pause. I should pause if I can. Oh, nope. Dang it. That whatever that shield did, it messed it up. It got rid of. Oh, wait. Now it's happening. Why? Where is this molasses coming from? Pause. Hurry, pause. Oh, I almost got hit. All right. Let's take a look at our player character here to see what has happened to him. Make him move around in molasses. Hopefully. I mean, this will be part of, he has negative 4.4 bonus move speed. Oh, I think it's really the combo. I'm not sure. I just got hit. His bonus move speed changing over time is very suspicious. Some kind of bonus move speed bug where could see stable move speed of -0.39 in debug editor. That killed us. We're gonna retry. Wanna, can we not? Oh, we paused the game. Oh, we want a mix of starting fresh and retrying, right? Who knows what bug might be lurking just to be retry. But yeah, that kind of molasses bug, molasses and like getting on edges and stuff, those would be sort of like the low to medium priority concerns in the bucket of concerns that I would look to address this week with that platformer fine tuning. I really want to get this guy moving around pretty good. It's 2D, it should be a solvable problem to make this feel decent, so whatever that has to be, whether it has to be, maybe it's more animation, like more squish and stretch, maybe it's adjusting enemy, like the hitting enemies like feeling better, maybe the enemy death particles need to be improved. Whatever it has to be, we're gonna get like the grand goal in focus of this week is going to be improving just the base poorest part of this experience of just jumping around. I think a large part of that will be just fixing these various bugs that, like, sure, when it's -0.4 I really noticed it there, right? But if I were getting like a -10% movement speed, would I still notice it? I'm not sure. And then it doesn't register as like, oh, I'm currently going 90% of my normal move speed. It registers as like, wait a second, what's going on here? This just kind of feels weird and bad. It just feels inconsistent. I don't feel like I'm in control of how my character moves around the scene. That's what we want to stamp out. We want the basest of all the platforming. There's your jumps, your parries, your running to be like as perfect as they can be. You know, I make peace with like not every boss design is going to be an outstanding winner probably. I mean, I hope they are, but we're making 12 bosses, one of them is going to be the worst, just invariably. Same deal with items. There will be some items that are really exciting probably and really fun to play with, and some that aren't. There'll be a variance there too. But where there like really can't be variance is the core player controller. It can't be like, oh, you know, the jumps feel really precise and good, but the dash is weird. Every part of the core player controller needs to be like as close to it perfect as I can get it. Alright, I don't think I found anything new specifically in that one. I guess there's a slight problem with the boss, where sometimes if you get him like this, like I just feel like suddenly my jump is not the same. Like there's something is broken that like my distances are not feeling the same anymore. And that's just some random bug, whatever, but that is part of the story of platforming feeling good. You know, if you get used to distances and forces and stuff, and then like some random bug, you know, hidden to you is changing them by 10% or something, and you miss like a jump or something. See, like even that example there, I might want to look into not applying combo until you're on the ground, because what happened there was I planned the jump in my mind, I went for it, and then because I gained vertical height as a part of the jump, suddenly my combo gave me more horizontal momentum than I expected, and I missed it. And you really want to minimize that. I'm gonna make a note of that. Consider combo only activate on land. On grounded, I guess. Missed a jump when got extra speed mid-air by combo activating. And then not sure if going to keep flow meter. Might be better to just have this be an effect around the player, which also could help declutter UI. All right. Since I found a thing, I'll go through one more time. I want to try to make it all the way through the first 2 levels here, so I'll be less blasé and focus on getting up there. See, like, what happened to my speed there? Where's my speed going? These are the things I have to answer over my development this week. We went and got some extra money to get a shield. Oh, I guess it's a good chance to check if it's unique to shiny shield. That time I got him. I'll keep trying to trigger that bug as my shield comes back. Always say triple jump. That time it killed a guy, but I wasn't trying to hit the sweet spot. Oh, I got ping-ponged a little right there. And this is... I don't love that, like, the very end of this is like a maze, which is why I was talking about the implementing separation on the chickens and probably other flying and future flying enemies. Oh man, I'm already down to 6 life. Ooh, I did not see that chicken at all. Oh, that one I saw, but I just reacted too late. Still a bug that burrower shoots even if dead. If the shot was already queued up. UAV. See if we can trigger our shield bug. That doesn't seem like it. Getting as close as I can. Oh, there we go. Cool, cool, cool. So we know now that it is not limited to... I have enough time to go get that chop. Oh god, I got double hit. Oh, you know what? It seems like dash break attacks deal damage that does not respect invulnerability window. That's not the only problem with dash break, so maybe we'll fix that. Healthy seeds do not help me here because there will be no more rest areas. Okay, we just dodged this boy. Ah! Also, burrower shot collider should shrink slightly faster than bullet shrinks. It was about to despawn. It was like fading away. I thought it was in its death animation, but it was still live, and so it got me. See, a small static amount of predictable move speed is kind of nice. I don't feel like it necessarily impedes my ability to navigate. When you add in combo, it does get a little bit much, but I don't think it actually gets to the point where it's uncontrollable. It's the stuff like having 3 different pairs of boots that are all activated, or like one stacking pair of boots and 3 other pairs of boots that breaks. I think most, maybe all of the shop stacking stuff like this, shiny boots, will probably need to go. We'll see. I think most people would be in agreement, especially for this kind of game, where it's not like a Binding of Isaac or a Vampire Survivors. Especially for this type of game, there's less appeal in like minor stacking improvements and more appeal for like impactful things that you notice every time, but maybe are more expensive, harder to get, there are fewer of them. Alright, so let's beat the Rat King. Let's beat the Rat King. We'll get the blocking item and then just try and see at least 1 instance of damage blocked. Assuming that's good, we can end this round of bug hunting. Oh, parry! That actually was on purpose. I would say if it wasn't, but... I think the bomb has to be longer. It's up for such a short period that, like, I don't feel like it saves me unless stuff is already moving towards me, and sometimes I also have to move towards it. And the Rat King is way easier than the Burrower. I guess that's true in the beginning. She just maybe needs to progress quicker. It's also a bit long. For bosses like the Rat King, where you can't dash him, you can't make this go any faster. I might make it so items deal a small amount of damage to him. He has like 200 health. But since you always want to be careful about how long you make something when a player cannot make it go any quicker. You know? Alright, we got 7 life. Look at the Grapes bug will put us up to 8. See if we can see 1 instance of damage being blocked, and then there we go, first hit. Let's make sure it's the proper, like, reasonable chance and I'm not blocking like every instance of damage. That blocks. We are getting okay. We just got incredibly lucky in those first 2 blocks, but yeah, it works. Cool. We can add a note that in current state, Rat Boss is way easier than Burrower. They both can probably go a bit quicker, more so for Burrower, or for Rat Boss. Rat Boss, where you can't control the speed of the fight. Because, like, technically for the Burrower, it's how long are you waiting to get the patterns? How quick are you waiting for the geysers to spew or not? There's a lot of what's it called? Risk you can take to speed it up if you want. But Rat Boss, it takes the exact amount of time it'll always take. So I should speed that up. Anyway, we are gonna call this done. Bug hunting is done. However, we are gonna fix a few of these. So let's identify what we think will be easy to quickly fix. I think this one, this one we're not gonna fix. It's too hard. It's like a long, unclear thing. This is like a maybe. Just take a look. This is too hard to fix. This could be going from things. This we're not gonna fix. That's gonna be a part of the overall bucket of like player stuff. This we will move up to the deal with. Dash breaks. Yeah, we'll fix dash break damage. Reverse shock collider. Yeah, we can fix this. It's a minor thing. Tweaking rat boss, we're not gonna do. We'll leave boss tweaking for some future time and probably offline. Maybe not. Bosses are extreme thing. All right. So let's start looking for these bugs. Dash through high value coins doesn't grant the coins. Only non-dash contact does. So the answer here, I think, is going to be just looking at the difference between those prefabs. So I think they're called money. Yep, we got money 1, money 2, money 3. Money 1 is on collect no worlds, and it has something on post-processing foreground to make it glow. It's got a health, it destroys itself on death, and it is looking for the player money trigger. So how about this? This is also well, let's get out debug. So far so good. It is on collect no world. Oh, okay. Increase other on trigger enter. Also looks good. Fire on enter. Health. Destroy on delve. Damage self. Trigger enter. It is not obvious to me. I thought it was going to be obvious. They're both on collect no world. They're all on collect no world. I guess let's minimize things as we conclude they're not the thing. Sprite render not going to be a thing. We have player money, both spelled properly. Okay. Everything else is the same. Circle collider is trigger, sure. Health starts at 1. Yeah. 1, -1. 0, 0, destroy on death. Yep, yep. Player money. Oh, this is it. Ignore other invulnerable. So, this is saying, hey, don't fire my thing if the thing that hit me was invulnerable. The intention of this is like to not destroy yourself if the player is in iframes from recently being hit, but it shouldn't be set for this. So we're gonna go, yep, it's also set on the gold coin. Let's see if that fixed that. We have to jump up about halfway through the vine to start seeing silver coins, I believe. Alright, there's one. Dash. Alright, we got it. Just for safety, let's also make sure we can dash the gold coins. Here's some gold coins. Dash. Alright, cool. Fixed. That was nice and easy. Okay, volatile shield kills boss collider. Let's go to volatile. Is that how I spell it? Shield? Burst or something? No. Let's just look at the probably names the prefab or whatever in the volatile shield script. Put a shield. Up a shield, and that'll put us in roughly the right location to find the answer to our question here. Alright. So let's search for Shield charge. What are you talking about? How can that be true? Looking at it. There we go. Assets, wrong project. This one. Player, modifier, shield. This. Okay, this is not under the shield base class. That's why it wasn't showing up. It's under player, kill, enemy, burst, and it has the same problem same root cause that we've seen before for this. We need to require the tag enemy, as long as we're doing disable other colliders. If it's unconditional, it mostly well, it will also hit bosses, and then the boss's collider will turn off, and they won't die anymore because they can't hit them. So I guess technically we should test that. We'll try to hit it in testing of something else. Because it's kind of, you need a couple things in a row. You have to find the volatile shield in the shop. Although with the shops turned up, that's probably fine. Then you also have to get to the end and roll Burrower for your 50-50 boss. So I don't want to necessarily waste time by trying to get this specific situation when it's just a category of bug that we've seen before. I'm gonna call it none-ish. Untested, but probably fine. Okay. Burrower shoots even if dead, if a shot was already queued up. So let's take a look at our Burrower prefab and see how he shoots. Shoots with this Q spawn shoot static nova. And it's just like a. Oh, here's a Burrower script. This is what we need. Shoot static nova, and shoot nova. Okay, here. Wait, is this the boss? No. Okay. So one thing here is we want to check if he's dead. So on start, let's get his health. All right. You have health? Look like you do. I guess we can just check the destroyer. Seems like it's being directly destroyed rather than using health. That's something I intend to change, but this is also fine to just fix up the check for now. And then here we say if destroyer, like being destroyed, yeah. Don't shoot your Nova if that's the case. Cool. I think that's pretty much fixed. Isn't there like a pause or something? Where does this come from? Yeah. I didn't write this down. I don't know, or I don't know if I did. But this is a similar bug. We want it to not be destroyed or paused in time. So it's two small bugs there. That's another thing, like, let's fix a couple things and then we'll run through one more test run and make sure it works. But I think they should be fine. Okay, dash break attacks deal damage that does not respect invulnerability window. So let's take a look at dash break helper. So this applies damage, and it seems like it should. Seems like it should be respecting it. So it's not that. I guess it's just dash break, right? Because the dash is canceled, which disables dash properties, which disables invulnerability. Okay. Okay. So yeah, this needs to be a part of the, I think, the larger player controller rework. What we say here is this is due to dash canceling dash being canceled by break, which cancels invulnerability. This is intended to cancel the invulnerability granted by dash, but player may have gained invulnerability another way. It could check and restore previous value, but that pattern is fragile. Include fixing this alongside player controller rework / tuning. And we're going to move it down. Okay, Burrow Shock Collider should shrink slightly faster than bullet shrinks. This is just a quick update of the animation. So let's open up that projectile. Actually, you know what? I was kind of wondering. It's like a little bit off topic, but I was wondering if these would look slightly better as like a see-through box since they're glowy. So, what are you using? Just also a square? Yeah, let's try new, let's say 32 by 32. And it's a not filled diamond. And turn off anti-aliasing. Get it to the arena. 32. I'm just curious if this might look better with yeah, diamond. I should just do a square since it can be perfect and then let Unity worry about rotating it. All this. I'll put under sprites, misc, hollow, or square hollow. That might look better. Just a straight box looks so Unity-y, you know what I mean? I should also outline this. You know I love outlines. So we are gonna go back, make sure there's 2 pixels on each side. 2. Select, switch to black. That is not even. Not? I guess it just doesn't look even. I guess it just has to do with the checkerboard pattern. You know what? This is dumb. What am I doing? I should just make it the correct size first. 28 by 28. Then black is my background. I can just expand it to 32 by 32. Right now it's mathematically perfect. There's no like looking to see, oh, did I mess it up? Then we put a 1 Y. And we put a 1 white on the inside. How's that look? Look better? Maybe. I guess I should just name this square hollow outline. Actually, what needs to happen is I get rid of the outer outline, then I make that its own thing. That then can be the glow, which should be white. So let's get rid of the middle, then rename this to, or not, that is white. So it just has an inner outline, but it will have like an implicit outer outline. This. And this be like more in a more aggressive color. It should be the other way. Curious if that looks better. I think it will. Maybe this should have like a bit of a tapered edge. And since it's slightly overlapping, make it, yeah, let's give it 1 more pixel on the inside so we can give it 1 pixel of border on the outside. Yeah, we'll be able to tell after. Up. Okay, and then we'll get a like dark gray here. Add 1. And we'll call this square hollow outline. It's crisp. See if it looks good in game. I think having like thinner but brighter glows will look better. I don't know if I even want this to glow long term because glow to me means dash break. I can add what I did, my new burrow or projectile sprite. So dash means something. And in just like the level 1, just enemies that can spawn in the easiest level, I don't know if I would want there to even be dash break. They're too glowy. The glow overwhelms the space. I guess that's why I had it turned down. Let's say if there's like 0.6, 0.3, like a duller glow. But fine-tuning the glowing of one specific item is kind of a fool's errand, I think. Because that also is we are gonna do visual overhaul as well. So you don't wanna like try to like fine-tune something that's just gonna be replaced anyway. That looks good. I think that looks better. Maybe it's not the color, it's like a bit not red enough. Or like it's just too much of the other colors. If I this down to like 0.2. It'll be a bit redder then. I was also thinking of making the chickens redder. I don't want to make them glow because that would imply they can't be killed by dash. But just so they stand out a little bit more. Oh yeah, that I like. Now they feel pretty red. Feel like a better match for the tile set now. Whereas like squares are just kind of like default placeholder. Yeah, probably, I don't know, I'll change them probably, but just a nice little 10-minute improvement, 5-minute, I don't know, I exaggerate. What was I testing? Isn't there something I wanted to test? Oh, they shoot even if they're dead. Well, it's too late for that now. Oh, I should make a couple things. First, I should find Burrower boss projectile. Boss projectile. And also move that to a hollow square. Assume the colors are fine. Square, hollow, outline. Nice, cleaner. And also the spike here needs to be fixed, I think. It can't be this red. It doesn't, I don't know why it's so different on my phone, but on my phone, that much red in the glow, like what we saw earlier on the previous iteration of the Burrower thing, that much red makes it come through like bright white. It just washes out everything. But that'll be a part of visual overall. Anyway, let's head back to where we had our Burrower projectile. Burrower projectile has this projectile die. I'm going to take a look at. We need to select a projectile to make it happen. That's the boss. Where's the other one? This one. Die. Oh yeah, so the scale inherently reduces the size of the collider, but I think like probably at this point we can just kill we just need something that makes the box collider shrink it like twice that size. So if it's at 1 here, it should be 0.5 here. Because this is still 0.5 of the scale. So this specifically makes it just die twice as fast. And again, this is over like a second or two. It's not that big a deal, but I'm just looking for those things that feel bad, you know, and getting rid of as many of them as I can. And as I was doing my little bug hunt, it felt bad that the projectile had faded into a tiny speck. But that tiny speck was still not completely, you know. Why? I wanted to see why this is sharper. I like this better. I got distracted by this. Just because it's 1.1? Maybe? I guess with the colors. I guess the main one is like pretty strong red, with this being okay, yeah, much darker. I like it. Let's see what that looks like. What was the previous one? Oh yeah, so 822, right? Or yeah, 811 and 5155. Yes, we lost too much red here. Yeah, just make it a little bit darker. Still don't look exactly the same. I wonder why. Oh, because they're both square hollow. This needs to be square hollow outline. There we go. Let's get out of here. All right. So, did this. Probably not going to do this. Because I do want to get that pausing stuff in. So we'll did our sort of bug hunt, and we have our round of fixes from the bug hunt. So let's just jump. Ooh, I hit a little lag spike there. This time I jump. I'm gonna jump through just one more time here and just see if we notice the. Yeah, I do think those look better. But we'll have to see if that holds true on phone as well. The burrower should be slightly bigger. I don't know why he's so small. See, I think that's just part of the problem with having these platforms that aren't wide enough, is that, like, to fit the guy on there reasonably and not have him take up the entire, like, little platform, it's got to be so small. We're hopefully going to fix that by, we might even zoom out slightly more. But we've already zoomed out a little bit more. There should be about 4 extra spaces, like in just Unity units, whatever those are. We went from, I think, 23 to 27. So there is more space, but maybe, like, see, even this is pretty much at capacity. It could go over 1 more tile here. It could constrain its area to be 1 more tile here. But, like, this is this level of stretching out is only really buying me 2 more tiles in each direction. So yeah, I might stretch out slightly more and then increase the size of the entities, but not tiles. See how that looks. But that'll be a part of the level design push, which is hopefully in 2 weeks. Alright, we got the rat boss. She's not the burrower, which doesn't have the things you want to check, so. And I forgot to buy the volatile shield on the way. So we didn't have any of the things we wanted to test. We'll try one more time. I guess we passed by some burrowers on the way up, and they look better. Oh yeah, using side areas I think would be useful as well, because you can see here, like, say, it can go all the way to the wall, like something jutting out of the wall. Those platforms that are jutting out of the wall rather than coming out of the center vine could be covered more total tiles as well. Yeah, but I think part of that's going to be the core of improving the level design is adding, like, more diversity, because it does feel very samey. Like, sure, some of the platforms are different layouts, but there's only a few of them. Oh, nice volatile shield. Sorry. There's only a few of them, and every single, like, notch is a 2x2. But if we're mixing that up from, like, a long wall platform, a short wall platform, we can maybe do a short wall platform plus 2 anchored to the side. We can probably do a long wall platform plus 1 thing. Maybe we can fit 3 in there. You got big platforms. So yeah, that Rat King again. That will sort of increase the diversity of, like, things like layouts. So a diversity of layouts, and then also just more interesting platforms which just need more space. But some of those new types of layouts in that bucket of, like, diversity of layouts grant more space as well. So it'd be like a combination of zooming out and implementing that more complicated layout system. There actually are, I think the skeleton already exists and is, like, in pretty good state. It probably shouldn't need too significant of a rework to have, like, different kinds of layouts. It's just that in the current set or stage, it's just picking the same layout every single time, which is 2x2. Also, the fact that you can just jump off the edge and, like, fall into oblivion is not great. Oh, cool, we killed a burrower there, and he had been up for a while, so he's probably about due to shoot. But because we killed him, he didn't shoot. I think that's probably a confirmation of our 1 bug fix. And we can try the other one here. We get this, like, right when it's... okay, we have to be, like, here-ish. We we can try and hit this platform like right before, or this burrow bullet, right before it would fade. He's too far away. He's not gonna spawn. All right, there we go. We spawned him. This comes down right about here. It doesn't seem like that really worked. I have to review that animation thing. I don't know if I fixed it. Like I might not have. All right, we got burrower. I'm gonna check. Yeah, I think it looks better than the squares, but there is potentially like some overlap problems with how many he shoots. I would also be interesting to see how this looks on phone, whether or not it's an improvement there. Yeah, just mixing it up a little bit, going in the direction of the like liney art style. Just getting everything less Unity defaulty. Anything that looks like Unity default is no good. That probably also includes maybe this like very generic circle, this rounded rectangle. I probably want to reuse the font. I've been thinking of maybe like swapping out the item icons as well. Just go to some like huge central repository like gameicons.net and get a matching set of anything I want. Because like this icon set I'm using is decent. I think it has like 96 sprites or something, and the fact that I like have the system to set up to do color variations easily, it's plenty. But I don't know, it doesn't feel like an awesome match for everything else. The liney like super 8-bit art style. So I have to like also in some situations I have to scale them up and they don't look that great. So maybe finding like a simpler, you know, more like lower bit, but a consistent set such that I can make like every item I might want. Might be something to look at. There are just so many icons on gameicons.net. I have a feeling I could find everything I was looking for. All right. We did the burrow boss. It seemed to confirm some of the fixes. So it's cool. Got a small round of fixes. In fact, let's throw out a commit. Oh right, the projectile die didn't really die fast enough for me to be happy with it. Let's take one more quick look at that. Projectile D. Okay. 5, 0, 0. So how do we make this faster? We just accelerate it. That's probably close enough. Can't get to 0 any faster without stretching this out. But that'll help a little bit. So we move that in. These square hollow sprites we move in. I like them more than what I had before. Changes to the burrow boss stuff. Change the money fixes. Burrow dirt. Yeah, these are changes to the base burrower. This is the volatile shield fix. This is, yeah, the burrow shooting when dead fix, or shooting when time stopped. That's just reducing the amount of chunks for convenience. This is a to-do. So yeah. And disk, bugs found, and quick hunt. Okay, give me just like a minute or two here. I just gotta pee. Here, you can see my commits if you want. Anyway, be right back real quick. All right, I'm back. It wasn't too long. I don't know. So, on to the main thing here of pausing. Um, so I think okay. First step here is reviewing what we currently have with regards to time stop. Um, that I have no. I guess I just searched time stop. There we go. Okay, for things with movement, it listens to some global event and basically stops their movement. So let's want to leave this open, like we set this aside sort of deal. But we are going to make a new script that handles all the different kinds of pause. So where do I need to look? Yes. Assets, scripts. I guess core. Call it pause manager. And let's just sort of like lay out what we're hoping to achieve. There are 4 levels of pause. You have your global pause, where is systems or player, systems, enemies. Have your, and I guess, and spawners. Enemy spawners. That's the global pause. That's the highest level. The next one down would be like if you enter a shop or a rest area. Enter one of the side areas with time bubbles. Um, that would be the we could call it player excluded pause. Systems, enemies, spawners. The next level down would be a enemy only pause of enemies, spawners. And then last you would have a, we could say this is a global enemy pause. And then we would have a local enemy pause, enemies in a certain area. So this is just global, but localized to the enemies. So like our current silver stopwatch item, that like hooks into that time stop listener stuff, would be a global enemy pause. And how the time bubbles with the shops currently work would be a player excluded pause. But these are both kind of like hacky. And we're gonna bring them all under the same umbrella here. Clean them up and add the other stuff. But we're gonna start with the global pause because that seems to be hopefully the easiest. I guess we're just gonna say input. We want an input action, and like later we'll use like a UI or something. But we'll just add a quick binding here to mess with. So I can say input action. Just for testing. So we'll say m pause action. And I think I have, we'll switch this from start to awake. And we'll say my pause action here is utility like setup button input, I think we can do. We'll set up a button input where we're setting up the ref pause action. Our binding is keyboard P. It's capital P. Our callback is, we'll say private void on attempt global pause. I guess it needs an input action callback context. Thinking just like for the actual just set the time to 0. I don't think that's I don't think that's a problem. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I'm just thinking through really quick if there's any logic that it would still be running if I just set the time scale to 0 that I don't want to be running. None comes to mind. So I think since that's the simplest, let's just start there and see if anything breaks. So on attempt global pause, we will say time scale 0. We didn't actually attach that to anything. So let's put that on the game state manager. That seems like the right place. We'll add a pause manager. Okay, so we'll start the game. Let's get into an area with like at least a couple enemies around. I guess I had no way to unpause, but we'll do jump P. Nothing happened. Is it firing? Let's debug print and we'll find out. Log. Simplest of all debugging. Hit P. You saying happened in the chat? No, or not in the chat, in the console. I think maybe this is wrong. Take me to utility. Did I do a /? Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with this. Yeah, the pause manager is still there. Does not seem to be reacting. Wonder why that. Keyboard. Spell keyboard wrong or something? Keyboard. No. Oh, wait. No, I don't obviously see what's wrong with this binding. Might have to actually debug. It does slow down Unity a decent chunk though. Sure, I'm missing something very stupid here. How is this an empty? It's just not saved. did kind, but it actually didn't. What if I... Oh, I can't believe I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm like, yeah, what if I wonder if this helper should enable it too, because I have a feeling I might forget to enable it. And yes, I did forget to enable it. Open question as to whether or not that should be baked into the helper. Anyway, I bet it works now. Yep. Oh, but input listener still is listening. Why is that input listener? I guess because it's just event based. So I guess this is the start of things I would need to disable. Oh, and there's no way to unpause, so we're dead now. Okay. That's where we're off to a start. We're off to a start. So we'll have a public void or private void. Toggle pause. We'll pause. Pause. And then we will also keep track of private pool m global pause, private pool m system pause, and private pool m player. Or wait, global includes the player. So we just say m player pause, system pause, and m enemy pause, and then local. Oh, handle local. Probably targets rather than. But that's the last one. I don't even think I have anything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything hooked up to like trigger a local pause potentially. Like I have the stopwatch nice for the, and I have the shop bubbles test everything else. Plus this new P. I guess I could. We'll see. I could to test it really quick. We could say like pause everything on the right side of the screen or something. Anyway. So anyway, we'll say toggle pause player system the enemy. Or I guess it should just be pause and then be include enemy will be, and then we can use defaults to like have the escalating system of pause of convenience. So be include system is false will be include player equals false. Okay. Now actually I changed my mind. If I don't actually want these things to be independent, it's just going to be a hassle having them be independent. So we're going to say public enum pause state unpaused. Let me just say unpaused. I think you have to reference it through the enum anyway. And then enemy pause system. I'm trying to think of what are the best, or I guess non-player paused. enemy paused, non-player paused, and then we have a private pause state, equals pause state unpaused. Oh yeah, I don't like these bools. We'll leave the note there about handling a local pause. Then we just say, let's take a pause state instead. Okay, so first we start with the classic. If new state equals pause state, just get out of here. You can say only do stuff if it's not equal. So we basically want helpers now that let us break this up. So you'd have maybe like private void pause player input. And then maybe we also have pause mute. We want to split this up. Oh no, yeah, I think this is right. And what else? Pause enemies. Pause system. And private void pause enemies. Okay. So then we say we'll just sort of go down the hierarchy here. So say switch. You allowed to fall through in C#? And just use an if. If new state equals unpaused. And double equal. Actually, this should be at the end, just in case I care about what state I came from. For unpaused, these all should take pause. And spelling. Come on. Pause. So in the unpause case, we call all of these. Wondering, we care about unpausing something that's already unpaused. I guess this is the situation where we can check the previous state. So we can say, if my previous state was global, I call maybe I say like bool be on pause player equals and pause state is global. Okay with this? Yeah, it's just that's not used. We have B unpause system is the unpause player, or my pause state was system non-player paused. Then unpause enemies is just always true. Enemies will always be paused. So say if Yeah, so you're gonna say this if this, say else if this, and then else would be this. Is it enemy only or something? Oh yeah, I'm gonna change this to system. I'll just write a note here. If I ever forget, I'll just say includes enemies, includes system. Okay. So if we're globally paused, we would pause music, false. Pause player input, false. System. In fact, I want another round of helpers. Why not? Global toggle pause pause. Just this. We just have these like highest level of helpers. Where you can say private global will also call system. Let's have a second private void toggle. I feel like I'm double writing helpers. I too much. This extra level of abstraction is unnecessary. I do want this back. Is it? I think this is the one I actually need. The global is the only. I shouldn't duplicate this for like system and stuff. Have another toggle level function, but these all should be named toggle, just for clarity. I decided against this. Just, just move it. Alright. Yes, yes. Decided. Okay. Toggle stick, toggle player input, toggle enemy. Oh. Just like keep changing my stupid junk like this. This is where all my time. Not actually. What was it? System? Okay. Um, this one, pause enemies. This can probably just be helper though. Pause. No, I know the new state it's, and I can take this over. See the pattern, I was like trying to find some nice way to avoid, but it's not that bad. Not the end of the world. Okay. Else. So now we are going to some pause state. And here we can just, I think we can just else if it's, maybe again similarly, just have a help. Oh, I changed my mind on this as well. So there must be some way to share like this block. How about instead of on pause? So I just want to pass the bool to this. I guess can't be in here because I don't have it as like the bool. Is this basically okay? Okay. So you just toggle pause bool. Need two things. We need pause state, previous and new. Then we just say I don't want to get hung up on this, but I know there is some way I can write this that reduces the amount of copy paste here. Actually, how about what if I pass this as the pause state? I can pass previous and on value. Yeah, I think that works. Say X state. X state is prev for unpause. Next. And there. That's the way to do it. Check state is previous. Pause is false. And else, you can just say new state. All right, I think that's the way we do it. That I mean, this doesn't do anything. It just sort of calls these helpers appropriately. So let's make sure our just basic time stop thing still happens. We would wait a second. I guess I need under the globally paused case. Private void pause time state. I guess toggle. This is a toggle. So we say time.timescale pause 0 else 1. I want to call this in the global case. Doesn't actually toggle though. I don't know if I expect it to. Yeah, whoops, we didn't do anything. So we'll say on attempt global pause, we will toggle pause with the new state being global paused. Or I guess it's state I guess question is, it can maybe simplified if I just say, okay, we do this. Instead of this being a no op, this also just being an unpause. Like if you set the state you already are, you go to unpaused. We just call ourselves recursively. Okay. So we expect P to still stop the timescale, but now if we press P a second time, our timescale should resume. Yep. So good start there. We can still wiggle our player around because this input listener, and we can see I can queue up event listeners and stuff. That's interesting. Like that's gonna have to be fixed for the dash. Like a P, nothing is stopping us. I guess we also should. So let's see if we can pause our music and also pause listener. And also, well, let's start with the player because I know how to do that. So probably want to get these things on start. So after awake, we'll have start. What was I putting in start? Oh, right, yeah, we're gonna get some stuff about the player. So want should be private by QINL movement and player movement input QINL jump and player jump input. We have a Q player, or I guess it's just no Q, it's just player dash. Player dash. What was the other one? Oh, I guess the active item. Active item manager. I guess I should check that one. I think it won't. Pause will prevent it from recharging. So let's see that. Yep, see. Stop recharging. But I bet if I have it off cooldown and then I pause, it'll still trigger. If I pause, Q. Yep, see, it got used up. Sound played. Oh, we don't want that. It's not a pause. So yeah, we need to get the active item manager as well to tell it to stop. Is there anything else on the player? I'm not thinking. So I think this represents all the player controls. So in start here, we will get these things. Since this is on the game state manager, and the game state manager fetches the player on start, we should be good to count on that. This needs to be an array. There are potentially multiple control screen schemes. Get components, children, ints, Q and I on expect one jump. Listener. And this. TeleSense got so much smarter when I upgraded to Visual Studio 2020. Okay. So on pause player input, we just go through each of those things. Isn't there like enabled or something? Pretty sure for what we just saw. Yeah, you need to say allow movement and just enable it. Pause or be pause. Wait. Yeah, if we're not be pause. And QINL player jump input, allow jump, all or be pause, not be pause. What were the other ones? Dash and activate a manager. And player dash. They're like dash allowed. Ooh, that's not what I want. Dash. Oh, set allow dash. Perfect. Pause. And finally, the active item manager. Set use allowed. Perfect. I have all the helpers I need. Okay, let's test it. We are calling this function, so we expect all this to happen. So first, I hit P. I'm hitting left and right. Nothing is happening because my movement has been suspended. Jump, also nothing happens. Dash, it plays the sound, but at least the dash isn't getting triggered. I have a separate bug tracking that Dash is still playing the sound when the dash is not allowed. This will also happen if you are ledge grabbing and you try to dash. The ledge grab tells the dash like, hey, you cannot dash right now. And so it earlies out and it doesn't dash, but it's playing the sound at some point before it earlies out. Then we unpause, we can move again, we can jump again, dash. Then here's the next check for our active item. We hit P. Yeah, we cannot use it. We're spamming Q. It does nothing. Still can't dash. So let's unpause. Let's try again to use Q. Works fine. Great. All right, so the player controls aspect of this, I think, are solid. See about the music. It should be just AK sound and suspend. Or I guess we have to check if the pause. You suspend the sound engine. And like wait from suspend or something. Wake up from suspend, yeah. I'm gonna write a note. If have pause music or want to play pause UI SFX will something smarter here, but good to start. So we hit enter, we got our music will start playing, and then we are going to pause. So now it is not actually a problem anymore that the dash sound will play because nothing will play. I mean, it is still propped separately, like I said, from ledge grab. But yeah, now all our sound pauses as well. Let's see, is this? Yeah, it's even doing the dash work. Up. Okay, looks good to me. That might be like an intermediate milestone I can cross over here. Yeah, I reviewed this. Now we had the basics of our class. But yeah, now we want to, now that we have the simplest form is just like, hey, pause everything. We also want to, we need to go in and unpause or like also pause what's the word? The enemies in the system. So this is just like the vine and the thorns and stuff. And this, we already have a time stop listener. So there's an event we can send. We just have to make sure everybody is subscribing to that event. Wondering if there's any. I feel like if I am global pausing, I don't even need to pause the enemies in the system, right? They're inherently paused from the timescale. Right? Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Let's add in the system and the enemy. So there's something like time bubble. On enter or something. Oh, that's not it. I think it might be on the world manager. Let's look there. Death bombs. Oh, enter safe bubble. So this moves the camera and then it sends out an event. I think I probably want to, let's see who's subscribing to this event. Color, oh, the grayscale thing that is broken anyway. pauses combo, I guess. That's it. How does the death box stop? Oh, you just have an internal. So yeah, I think the play here is we don't even need to change this very much. We can leave it with the camera stuff for the side areas. We just, instead of saying this being on enter safe bubble, it should just be on system pause. So let's steal that from world. Let's make it a static event here in our pause manager. It already is, cool. And this will be on system pause. Then we don't need an on enter and exit. We can just have our listeners check this. Okay. So here, I mean, maybe there's other stuff we want to do, but we're just gonna do. Oh, pause. Okay. Is it really that simple? I guess this will be broken now in World Manager. You just need to say, he instead on enter safe bubble, we say pause manager system, or I guess we need to add a public event to say like, hey, I want you to do this. Say public void request pause state. Just call our other helper, I think. Toggle pause. Can we? So. Yeah, I think it's fine. I was just thinking, I just crossed my mind like, wait a second, what if I enter a shop and then global pause? Leaving the shop would like leaving the shop would break my logic here, right? I think. But it's fine as long as you only go up in pause. So, and you can just, we already added in the hook that if you send your state again, it counts as an unpause. So I think the pattern should be, yeah, everybody send the level of pause they want. And we might not grant it. If new state, for example, is less, new state needs to be greater than or equal to pause state. So it needs to either be the same thing you sent before or a better pause. Do not pass unpause past the state you requested. Like that. Unpause will never go through because it'll always be yes. That's fine. So that's the only check we need, I think. And then we can go to like whatever new state. Um, I guess what if I'm globally paused and I unpause? That's gonna unpause like my system level. Maybe I do need independent. Think about that. I guess I need to do something here if the pause gets upgraded. In that case, I would want to fall back to a previous pause state. Maybe we just private pause state m pause state. This case here, where if I want to say new state is greater than equal to pause state, we let you do it. But if new state is not equal to pause state, that means it's greater. Then we want to say previous pause state equals new state or equals pause state. We'll save it. If overriding a pause with a greater one, save previous state so it can be restored on unpause. So the example of this would be like, say you use the stopwatch, pause enemy's movement, and then you pause the game, like at the system level. The game unpauses, it needs to go back to the enemy pause. It can't go all the way to, it cannot go to unpause because it'll miss pausing the previous state. So yeah, I know if they are equal, then we can just get rid of it. That just means we entered a pause state, we're leaving a pause state. Well, I guess if they are equal, we do not want to set anything. Because it might be pause 1 pauses the enemies. Then our global pause pauses everything. And then previous pause state will store that enemy pause. Then we send through global pause again. We have enemy pause in our previous pause state. Yes, this makes sense. And then here, where they're equal, you toggle pause. Set a pause state on pause, you just say end previous pause state. Here, also would want. I guess we should just go through the same request function that is storing stuff for us. Because it'll always win, it's fine, it's equivalent, the highest number. And it'll also like this mini stack storage to properly restore state. Okay. I guess next step here would be to implement like a system pause. and when a system pause, and then just try that pause stack and see if it's restored properly. So instead of on safe bubble invoke, we do request pause manager dot request toggle pause. It was. Oh, that's what it was. Might be request toggle pause. Oh, maybe it wasn't saved. Problem. Oh, it needs to be. Oh, no, it just needs an argument. Pause state. This pause manager. I think there's another pause state. It's annoying. What's the problem? Oh, you need this should be static. The whole class static. No, because it has to exist on a thing. I don't see a problem. The input action stays, the player stuff can stay local. This should be static. Means this has to be static. Okay. Now so it would pause input. How do we collapse this down to way? Maybe I just put this on the GSM as well. I guess I would want to. It'd have to be the other way. So like on enter thing sends an event to this. Then this could just subscribe. That static event. Heck, I don't. Yeah, it's trying to think of which choice I'll regret the least. I think the answer is have a top level singleton. And this, like, we can do all that S. Good with that? Okay. Then exit safe bubble. You would just also do this. So it'll unpause. And then let's see what's broken. Yeah, we should have subscribers here that aren't actually. Oh, this might actually fix my grayscale bug because we're actually sending through what the uh value will be. Neat. Okay. Anything else? There should be one more. Uh, combo. Is there an exit? Yeah, so instead of that, we'll have private void on system pause chain pause chain pause. If just gonna say safe pause. This okay. And then while I'm thinking of it, let's also go into the active item manager, which I believe continues cooling down when you're in a system pause when it should not. There's this cooldown timer going down. Here in the update of active item base. All right, so here on start, I'm gonna say pause manager system pause plus equals private void system pause pause private pool and cooldown paused equals pause plus equals on system pause and here if I guess on pre-update and this should be but I guess this is the only bit skip. I don't want to potentially lock out derived classes from doing stuff during these update overrides. Just because the cooldown is paused. Cooldown means cooldown. Cooldown means timer. Okay. Oh, this should be if it's not paused. Start over. Okay, so we want to get near a shop or rest area to test out see if our pausing behavior fires like we expect it will. Grayscale looks good. Our enemies didn't pause, but we didn't set that up yet. If we pause while we're in here, everything pauses. Then if we unpause, it is broken. That did not work. You're now stuck in some hellish between state. Okay. But I think I know the reason why. When we assumed when we added like the concept of the pause stack, we broke an assumption in our pause manager. Where here, I was assuming if I'm like, okay, well, I'll go to unpause, which will get the time unpaused. I think I just do A, B. So we just toggle pause. Let's say else if previous state is not equal. If it's on pause, you can just do this. Then in this case, you do have to unpause first. So so my previous state was not unpaused. So I'm in a pause state. And my new state was not. Well, my new state could be unpaused. I guess that's what I care. State being. So my new state is unpaused, then I can just do this. But if it's not, let me reverse this. If it's not unpaused, then I need to first unpause my current state. I guess it's if new state is not unpaused and previous state. So we're going from one pause to another, basically. Here in the case where we're not doing that, you can just say is new equals. Oh wait, we already know new equals pause, so we don't need this check. Oh wait, this is checking previous. Would unpause be sent? No, because the pattern is only this sends unpause. So we don't need this. Just need this. So we unpause the previous state and then pause the new state. This can here. Okay. Yeah, so there's a bit of a redundant setting of values here, but that's okay. Just setting boolean, like, couldn't even. So first alright, the simple case of just pause on, it does not. It only works once. Why is that? I'm trying to be too clever here. I guess maybe. I'm not sure what I'm missing. So if I send global I would send global, right? Global 1 puts us into a pause state where we will record unpaused and go in here. Y global state. Then our second time through will equal, so we'll keep our previous pause state of unpause. We'll go through in global. And we'll say this fails because they will be equal to be global global. And then previous state does equal unpause, so it should just go straight to unpause. Oh, I guess I have to go through the request again? Or no, you can't. I guess I think I need to just clear previous state here. Because we're no longer in a pause stack situation, so we want to clear that out. I'm just thinking we still have global in the previous state. Does that break our assumptions? Huh. I do not understand how I broke this, and I will have to step through. Matching takes so long from you. Not sure why. It's 27, 28 seconds. All right, there we go. Let's put our bug boy. And then after I wait 26 seconds, it's busy for a second. It's a deal. That's why I'm hesitant to. Global paused is greater than unpaused. We'll record unpaused as our state and go through and set global pause. We will pause the time and the music player input. Oh, that's cool. The music just died the second I stepped through that. All right, let's continue. Now let's unpause. New state is global paused again. So they're equal. So it's not going to override. I know they're equal. We don't have to do this because the previous state was unpaused. Go through here. Should unpause. We undo our thing. Grab some music back. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Okay. I think I said the other day, probably. Get all these, like, random. Alright, we pause again, but we won't. Okay, your pause state is still global paused. So this didn't get saved. That's the problem. Stop. You're. I guess I stop here. Overwriting my pause state. I mean, it's me. The answer. It's a joke. The programming is we're murder mystery where the murderer is usually you. Okay, so we go to global paused here. If I P, stay. Why are you not unpaused? I think you're unpaused now. Where else are you being set? Only here? Oh no, here's a second unexpected call again. Calling this directly, alright? Why is this getting like double called here? I like 2 instances of this object or something? Gonna delug everything from game and setting pause from state to state. That should clear it. So let's clear the wise noise. Start the game. Pause. The GSM setting pause from pause to global pause. Okay, that's what I expect. It again. From the GSM setting pause from global pause to unpaused. Okay, again. GSM pause to unpaused. Huh. This is the bit I don't get it. I think it's this. It's the double. This needs to not be in this. The recursive, basically the path where we are recursively calling unpause because we detected that we got the same pause request twice. That path is doing its recursive call, setting the new value. Then when it hops back out of the recursive stack, it is setting the value back to the call that triggered the recursive call, the global again. So we just need one of these. Say to call with state. Okay, we pause, unpause, repause, pause again. All right, so far so good. Fix that bug. Stop the time, pause, time is stopped. Oh, this works. Well, I guess that they're on different, so we didn't loop that in yet, so that's not clear. But we can go check with our boy here, the shop. Enter. Grayscale looks decent. It just like needs to update itself on new platforms. We pause, we unpause. Did not work. Get rid of our debug print. Let's get it back. just something I... Wait. This new state will be the same state. Need this and this. I'm gonna comment out the debug printing because I think that's the problem. The only thing that I don't think this will work more than one layer deep. For example, if you did that pause, then you go into this pause, then you go back out. They won't still be under time stop. I think that's just fine. We pause there. Everything is paused. Unpause. Everything stays gray. I guess the real contender is the vine moving. So it's not moving now, but if we hop out, you see it starts moving again. Pause. Focus. Oh, no. Can't pause again. What state do we think we're in? So I unpaused. This is wrong too. I talked about it correctly. But I didn't. I guess these things should be equal. It shouldn't matter. That should be the same thing. Oh. This is what we need. That makes sense. Say new state equals pause state. It's unpause from current. If was previously in a pause state, store that instead of full unpause. Then here is not previous unpaused and previous pause state was unpaused. Simple. Say recursive state. Okay. Let's try our pause stack one more time. I really wanted to make it work with an arbitrary amount of pauses. We could just use an actual stack instead of just storing the previous. Why? Be my question. So our vine isn't moving. That's evidence of our system pause. We'll pause the game. The audio stops. That's evidence of our global pause. We'll unpause the game. Vine still is not moving. Can we get back into global pause? Yes, we can. Seems fine. Let's unpause again. And then if we leave, does the vine start moving again? Yeah, you can't see it, but I can see it in my scene view. We are growing thorns. Because we have quit the system pause, we can pause again. Global pause seems fine. Hop back in our bubble. The thorns stopped as expected. Now let's see, we do our pause. Yeah, this looks good to me. I mean, I think we have got it. Cool. So we can add that we folded in system dot pause, but not enemy. I just realized I haven't run out of time. I've actually gone a decent chunk over my time at 9:20 here. So Yeah, so I know pause probably not the most exciting feature to work on, but pretty important to have, like I talked out at the top. Just an important thing to have for testing. It's just a quality of life thing for me as I'm potentially playing a lot of builds on builds that like can't just pause in the Unity editor. And you can still like it's not 100% fixed, but the grayscale thing is kind of fixed. It'll at least fix itself on toggle now. And we haven't folded in enemies under this umbrella yet, but we have the overall system to do it. And we basically just copy the same process that we did for on enter and on exit safe bubble there, where we are listening to an event related to the silver stopwatch that's like on player time stop or something, where instead of that like item sending out its own event, it'll just call into the pause manager now that can handle sort of extra concerns potentially uh, just centralized in one place. Um, yeah, I guess it shows it's a little bit trickier than it might seem. Sort of layer those pauses, but I think we got to a good place. So solid, productive night of work. That's gonna be it for me for the night. Thanks for tuning in. Uh, we're looking at about 2 to 3 weeks to have a web playable feedback version. I think where this week we're gonna fine tune platforming, the platform controllers. Week after that, we're gonna fine tune level design and get started on improving the visuals. And then that third week, we're gonna focus on improving the visuals, and adding whatever is needed for the its level. So maybe like 3.5 weeks. I think the goal would be to have that version on a Monday, so then I can stream on Tuesday and say like, hey, here it is. Here's a version. Go play it. Tell me what you think. Type deal. Um, so yeah, I think about three weeks and change out. We will have a web play testable. We are getting close. I swear. I know I've been saying that a while, but this time become becomes more and more true every time I say it. I can say that. Um, one day, one day, pretty soon, we'll actually be able to play this game I've been grinding out every week for a while. To be fair, I haven't been really spending all week every week up until recently, where I pump in a lot more time. But yeah, it's been quite a while. It'll be cool to get it in some people's hands and get some feedback. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, that's I'm done for the night. Thanks for tuning in and have a good night.